The Geo Traveler is actually amazing now. In the past, Geo Traveler was considered to be one of the worst Traveler elements because she doesn't really do much damage with both her skill and burst, and doesn't really create shielding normally, but only through Crystallize. And Geo in general was just a pretty bad element. However, with the release of Columbina, who enables the Lunar Crystallize reaction, suddenly the Geo Traveler became a really fun and amazing character to use. But first, to know why the Geo Traveler is amazing, we need to first understand the Lunar Crystallize reaction. In Razor's language, Lunar Crystallize happens when Geo and Hydro react, with the character applying Geo or Hydro having the Moon Sign Benediction, in other words characters like Columbina. The Lunar Crystallize reaction deals damage and also creates 3 Moon Drifts. For every 3 times Lunar Crystallize is triggered, the Moon Drifts will launch a projectile that deals Geo damage. In other words, you want to trigger the Lunar Crystallize reaction as much as possible so that the Geo projectile from the Moon Drifts would trigger. That is where the Geo Traveler comes in. The Geo Traveler is able to create a Geo Construct with a skill which also applies Geo damage when used. This has a short cooldown of only 6 seconds. An Elemental Burst also creates another Geo Construct that increases the crit rate of characters in it at C1, and also, most importantly, doesn't count towards the maximum 3 Geo Construct limit. When you pair Geo Traveler with, of course, Columbina, to even allow for the Lunar Crystallize reaction, but more importantly, Zhongli, you get insane Lunar Crystallize reactions. But why? Well, because Zhongli's Geo Pillar resonates with other Geo Constructs to deal Geo damage. This resonance was lackluster in the past. You primarily used Zhongli only for his shield. But with the new meta, the Traveler can place 2 of her elemental skills Geo Constructs on field, with another through her burst. The Lunar Crystallize reaction also creates 3 Moon Drifts which also count as Geo Constructs independent of the limit. Adding Zhongli's Pillar, you have a total of 7 Geo Constructs on the field, with the Geo Traveler's burst being particularly potent since it forms a huge circle. As such, you get resonances that cover the battlefield, constantly applying Geo to react with Columbina's Hydro, which hence triggers the Lunar Crystallize reaction for the Geo projectiles. This is just so fun and just insane to see, with so many things resonating with Zhongli's Pillar. This team will likely only get better with the release of Iluga, who is the dedicated Lunar Crystallize buffer. Perhaps when Iluga releases, I will likely review this team again and talk more about Iluga himself. But so, what kind of builds do we give this team then? Well, for Traveler, I went with the Knight of the Skies Unveiling with ER, Elemental Mastery and Crit, so that the Traveler can use her burst more often but still have good Elemental Mastery and Crit for the Lunar Crystallize reactions. As for Zhongli, I still stuck in with the Tenacity set for him to buff attack for the team. But I gave him the Dragonbane's Poem for more Elemental Mastery, also for the Lunar Crystallize reaction. As for Columbina, you can go for the new set, albeit of the Morning Star and Moon, for increased Lunar reaction damage, although I didn't really do that because I'm still farming for it. Lastly, you can have either Iluga or Aino with the Silver Moon Serenade to buff the team's Elemental Mastery. You can also swap the last character for Inefa to do Lunar Charged, because Lunar Charge doesn't really consume the full Hydro Aura, which means that you can essentially have double reactions in your team, which is especially useful in the new Abyss. Just some disclaimers however, is that while this team is fun, there are definitely some drawbacks. The Geo Constructs have always been kinda wonky and tend to disappear if bosses are too huge or ram into them. So just try to place the constructs a little off the bosses to utilize them well. But that said, overall, this is an extremely fun team that utilizes the once forgotten Geo Traveler and brings her back to relevancy. I don't know if this is meta defining, but it's super fun and you can definitely clear the abyss with it, as you can see over here. So, what do you think? Will you be trying this team out? Do let me know down in the comment section below. Also, if you have enjoyed today's video, please feel free to leave a like and also consider subscribing if you haven't, as it will really help this small channel to reach its goal of 10,000 subscribers. Once again, thank you so much for watching and see you again next time. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you wish to find out which traveler has the best element, click the video on the right. If you'd like to see my other Genshin Impact videos, please click the playlist on the left. Once again, thank you so much and see you again next time. Bye bye.